This is the Red Line, and I am your host, Jimmy Red. Thanks for tuning in. We have an episode for you guys here today. We're going to try something a little different this week. We're going to just talk one sport, just so I can give you guys something a little different here, so you don't have to listen to all of it to find out one thing you want. But with everything going on in sports, there's been one really big thing that's happened, and that has happened in college basketball. And that is that big scandal about teams paying players to come to their college. And during that process, Sean Miller, the coach for Arizona, got busted. They said they wiretapped him, and they heard this, and he was going to make a $100,000 payment to DeAndre Ayton. And I somehow find that to be false in this article I read. I read another one today that said that they didn't start wiretaps until 2017, and he already had him committed to sign there, so they already knew the payment was going to be made in September of 16. So trying to figure out all the logistics. He said he's going to fight it, which I can't blame the man. And they're a really good team this year too, Arizona is, so they have a shot for a national championship. But at the same time, they lost a great player, a 4-star recruit next year in Shaq's boy, and that hurts with him not going there. Sharif O'Neal's not going there, and him not going there is going to, I think, deter a lot of people from coming there, and plus the chance of them not being able to make tournaments and what could happen to these players. There's a lot of other schools that are involved in this. You have, Alabama, Duke, Kentucky, LSU, Maryland, Michigan State, NC State, North Carolina, Seton Hall, Texas, USC, and Washington, Arizona, and Arizona State. There's also more, obviously. You have Clemson. You got Louisville. You got Kansas, who's by far probably paying people because they have to. They don't have to, but the way they play, obviously. And then Duke, you have to think they are, considering they've landed 3 of the top 5 recruits, and 1, 2, and 3. And they're working on landing more. So Duke, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. And it came out today, Mike Krzyzewski is the highest paid coach in college basketball. I understand he's the highest coach that's paid, but they're doing something there, and I don't know what it is, because they were always getting out-recruited by Calipari there at Kentucky. Calipari couldn't get them to win and get national championships, but they were always getting recruited by them. And Duke is now taking that reins and beating them. And I think that a lot of that has to do with how they do the recruiting process. And a lot of people say that a lot of that has to do with making you feel wanted and making you feel like that's a good place for you to fit. I don't know if that's the truth. And the reason I don't believe that is because these kids, they don't care about academics. They don't care about any of that stuff because they go to school for 3 months or 4 months. That's all they got to go for. And then they don't go to any more classes because all they do is they take these BS classes and then they leave and they do the one-and-done deal and they go in the NBA. So these kids don't care about fitting in because they're superstars, and it's not really that bad of a deal, if you ask me. Because think about it. You're a big man on campus. You're the big guy. Everybody loves you. You play at a big school like Kansas. You think Kansas. You don't think football. You don't think soccer. You think basketball. You think of these schools where these guys go. North Carolina Tar Heels the exact same way. Clemson, you think more football, but Louisville, a little bit of both. But you think Patino. So it's little this, little that. But at the same time, you have to look at how this process goes. Because these kids just want to win, and that's where they know they can go win. And those schools also go to all these other places, like their first games of the year. What's so wrong with, hey, I'm going to Maui? It's a free vacation. I mean, I'd take a free vacation to Maui. And then they go to all these places. They travel for free. Everything's paid for while they travel. And then their last 6 games are in the tournament, and it's all televised. They get all this glory, all this love. They show what they can do against these players. Over half of them who are not going to make it to the NBA. They look like rock stars out there. Then they go to the NBA the following year, and they get paid. But I don't think it's the worst thing. Adam Silver, on the other hand, disagrees with that. Because what that's doing to the NBA by this happening is it makes him look really bad. Because now the NBA has all these players who took this money from colleges to go play there. And that reflects on the NBA because now they are NBA players. So it states in there, NBA player so on and so forth who plays for so on and so on. Well, guess what? Now Adam Silver's like, well, guess what? That's my guy. My league looks bad. LeBron said it, and I've said it, but I said it before LeBron said it. I said that the NBA needs to come out with alternate routes to make it there because there's other countries who do it. Like, look at Lithuania. 16 years old, these kids can go play professional basketball, and they can play against grown men and try to develop their skills, to be an awesome elite basketball player in their country. Why can we not have something like that in America? But make those kids still go to school. I know we have AAU and we have the G League, also known as the D League formerly, but that does not help develop young talent to go to the NBA. Everybody says, well, the G League. The problem with the G League is you have 12 players on the team. 3 of them players don't even dress. They sit on a bench and they sit there and just, hang out. So where are you going? And you're not making any money playing there. You make more working at McDonald's than you can working in that. So the G League, not good. Excuse me, sorry. G League, not good. I think the NBA needs to make other leagues like a development league that will take these players up just like they have for baseball. Because baseball has single A, double A, triple A majors. I think the NBA needs to create something in there to make these kids not have to go to college. Because they don't have to go. I mean, even like I said, it's not that bad. If you could stay at home for 9 months and work out. You could travel across seas and go do it too, and then come back. So it's not like you have to go to college. But I think the NBA is going to go out and consider making another alternative chance and way to get players into the NBA, because if they do, then that helps them develop and it keeps them more in control of the way the kid goes. Excuse me. Instead of in college. Because college has the control there, because Adam Silver has no control over what the NCAA does, but he does have control over a development league if he creates it in between the G League and the NBA, and he pays the players enough money to make it plausible for them. If they go get the right sponsors, I don't see any reason why that can't happen. So my opinion is they need to make it, and I don't think Sean Miller is going to get caught on that deal because they have to prove that he made that payment. He can say stuff all day, but you're not guilty until they can prove that you've done it. It scares me a little bit at the same time because Sean Miller is brothers to Archie Miller, and Archie Miller is the brother of him, and he coaches at IU. I'm an IU fan, and he said he learned from his brother. Hopefully this is something he didn't learn from his brother. I mean, IU's not very good this year, and he didn't have a whole lot of time to recruit. But if he learned from his brother, hopefully he didn't take this part from him, because that could definitely damage the name of Indiana basketball. And we don't want to do that because there's so many great icons that went through Indiana. You got Cody Zeller, you got Victor Oladipo, you got James Blackman, you got the name you won't forever forget, Bobby Knight, you got Eric Gordon, all these guys who are players, and that's just modernly right now. Did any of them get paid? I know they weren't under Archie. We're not under Archie Miller, but did any of them get paid? Some of them were under Tom Crean. Some of them were under Bob Knight. Some of them were under Calvin Sampson. So it's hard telling who did what. I'm just all blown away by the whole deal of the NCAA right now with this. We know that there's been a couple teams that have locked up outright championships as well, so we'll switch away from the whole scandal. There's been a couple teams that have locked up outright championships. Virginia locked up the ACC. They're the 1 seed. So they'll be setting 1 in the ACC. Tournament's about to start. And Michigan State has locked up the Big Ten, which that's pretty cool. I think it's their 9th win, I believe is what I read there. I think it's the 9th win for them in the Big Ten. Let me just check and make sure there. But I believe that's their 9th, which is big for them if it is. Because I think the last time they won was, when was that? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? A couple years ago. Let's see here. I'm looking at it. Yes, first outright. No, I lied. They won their first outright title in 9 years. So there you go. See, I told you I knew it had 9 in it. I just have so many numbers in my head that I got confused. But first time they've won an outright title in the Big Ten in 9 years. So that's big for them. They got the right players. They're really good in the country this year. I think they're going to have their hands full. But mark me right now. The team you all need to watch out for is not under anybody's radar is Auburn. Watch Auburn. I know everybody's like, Auburn, are you nuts? It's a football school. Auburn's got talent this year. They got depth. They look good. Virginia looks good. Duke looks good. North Carolina, I think they're kind of overrated in my mind. But that's just my opinion. So, and another team you got to watch out for all the time, no matter where it's at, is Villanova. They've been on a tear the last few years, so you can't watch out for them. So that's the NCAA stuff I have there for you. You know, we all got the scandal. I'll keep you up to date on what keeps happening there. And bracketology's right up around the corner, so I'll keep you on the loop on that. And for this, that has been The Red Line with Jimmy Red, and I will see you guys on the next episode.